Beneath a calm Scottish surface lies an abyss deeper than the North Sea, where light dies within meters and peat-stained water hides uncharted trenches. Scientists have mapped less than half, leaving black volumes where almost anything could survive unseen. In these cold depths, evidence remains unresolved. Sonar hits, strange images, and shadows no one can explain. If something calls this darkness home, what lives here, and how close have we come to meeting it? Sunlight scatters on the surface, glancing off wind-ruffled water. But below, the world changes with each meter. Peat-stained runoff from the surrounding moors turns the loch a deep tea-brown, swallowing light almost instantly. By the time you reach 3 meters, vision blurs into shadow. At 10 meters, even the brightest day becomes dusk. Past that, the water thickens into a blackness more complete than a moonless night. Instruments measure a secchi depth of just a few meters, and beyond that, eyes are useless. Temperature falls with depth, but not in sharp steps. The loch is layered, cold and stable. The surface might warm to 13 or 14 degrees Celsius in late summer, but beneath, the deep water holds steady near 5 to 7 degrees Celsius all year. This cold, oxygen-rich layer stretches from the midwater down to the basin floor, over 200 meters below. Unlike shallow lakes that stagnate or suffocate at the bottom, Loch Ness maintains oxygen throughout its depths. Fish and other life can exist far below the reach of light, in water that never fully mixes or warms. A limnologist once described it simply: Loch Ness is a trench of living blackness. The oxygen is always there, but vision is not. In this world, survival depends on senses other than sight. Sound, vibration, and chemical traces become the only signals that matter. The rules of life here are written in darkness and cold, where every movement is hidden, and every encounter is shaped by what cannot be seen. Loch Ness is mapped in broad strokes, but its true shape is more elusive. The loch stretches nearly 37 kilometers with steep rock walls plunging to depths of over 230 meters. Early bathymetric surveys traced the main trench, but left countless folds, ledges, and steep flanks unresolved. Modern sonar has swept the basin, yet the challenge remains. No single pass can capture every hollow, every overhang, every shadowed gully. The underwater landscape is not static. Internal seiches, slow hidden waves that rock the boundary between warm surface water and the cold abyss, shift the very layers of the loch. These internal tides can tilt the thermocline by 5 to 15 meters, moving the sharpest change in temperature and sound speed up and down over hours. To sonar, this moving boundary is a lens. It bends sound, it distorts range, and it creates shifting acoustic shadows. A ledge that appears solid one day can fall into darkness the next, hidden by a gradient that curves sonar beams away. Even the best multi-beam systems leave gaps, zones where steep walls or overhangs break the line of sight, or where the sound speed gradient warps the path enough to miss a pocket of water. Remotely operated vehicles tethered to the surface reach down to 200 meters, but they struggle with navigation and visibility in featureless mud or jagged stone. The cost and time needed for dense, overlapping surveys mean that many sidewalls and deep recesses are only partially imaged. In these blind spots, uncertainty lingers. The loch's true geometry is never fully fixed. It flexes with each internal tide, each survey, each season. Out of this shifting terrain, the possibility remains somewhere in the black water. There are places no camera or echo has seen. European eels slip silently into Loch Ness as glass eels, then vanish for years in the gloom. Most stay small, but rare individuals, thicker than a wrist, over 1 meter long, have been netted in northern Europe. Environmental DNA surveys from 2018 and 2019 found eel traces in nearly every sample from the loch, their genetic signature saturating the water. No evidence appeared for unknown giants, but eels are everywhere, their bodies built for shadows. Long and flexible, their eyes are small and dull. They sense the world through a lateral line, picking up the faintest pressure changes, hunting by vibration and chemical trails. In the loch's cold, their metabolism slows almost to stillness. Sturgeon, though rarely seen in the loch, haunt Scottish rivers and estuaries. These armored fish can reach 3 or 4 meters, with torpedo-shaped bodies and ridged backs. They feed along the bottom, using sensitive barbels to feel for prey, thriving in murky water. Arctic char and brown trout, both native, drift through the deep layers, char especially with large, light-sensitive eyes for twilight. Even the largest char rarely reach half a meter. Occasionally a seal follows salmon from the sea, moving unseen beneath the hills, whiskers tuned to the flow of fish. An ichthyologist once called the loch's energy budget a tight ledger. Enough for a few large fish, never a hidden population of giants. A single image, printed in a London tabloid in April 1934, set the world on edge. The so-called surgeon's photograph showed a slender neck, a small head, a shadow in rippled water. For decades, it held its power, even as confessions of trickery surfaced and the model's origins were exposed. Still, the silhouette lingers, unsettling in its simplicity, a reminder that a single frame can rewrite the boundary between myth and memory. In 1968, the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau's echo sounder traced something solitary and dense, hanging in mid-water over the central trench, tens of meters above the loch floor. The target moved independently of the bottom, larger than any fish school the team had logged. The paper chart unspooled, the operator called out the depth, and then the contact faded into static. The echo remains unexplained. August 1972. An underwater camera, rigged with a flash and triggered by sonar, captured a blurred, paddle-shaped form. The team called it a flipper. Enhanced and retouched, the image divided scientists and believers. Some saw a diamond-shaped appendage, others only sediment and shadow. The original negative remains ambiguous, the debate unresolved. The flipper image still provokes argument. September 2020. Ronald Mackenzie, skipper of the Spirit of Loch Ness, watched his Garmin sonar paint a single solid echo, 10 meters long, suspended 50 meters down in nearly 200 meters of water. He had tracked salmon, trout, and char for years, but this contact did not match any shoal he knew. No surface disturbance, no second pass, just a bright band on the screen, then gone. The digital contact did not fit any familiar pattern. Photograph, sonar chart, underwater flash, digital echo. Each record sits between evidence and absence. None have been explained away. None have been explained. These traces resist closure. They refuse tidy verdicts, and they keep the question alive. A sonar technician stands over a console, hands moving with practiced certainty across dials and screens. The loch's silence is broken only by the steady ping, sound waves sent down in a narrow cone, searching for anything solid in the black. With a single beam echo sounder, every contact is a mystery of geometry. The beam widens as it travels, painting a slice of water beneath the boat. When the trace thickens, the operator checks the math. Apparent length equals boat speed times echo duration. A slow pass over a school of fish can stretch the signal, making a few meters of movement appear as a single, massive form. If the boat moves at 3 knots, about 1.5 meters per second, and the echo lasts 4 seconds, the display shows a 6-meter target. But is it one animal or many? Multi-beam sonar helps, splitting the water into dozens of overlapping slices, each measuring depth and shape. Even then, the loch's steep walls and overhangs can hide objects or bend echoes into ambiguity. The technician marks the screen, noting the uncertainty. In these depths, every strong contact is a puzzle. Sometimes a school, sometimes a log, sometimes something that refuses to resolve. The data offers a frame, but never the full picture. The mystery remains. Imagine a predator shaped by darkness and silence. In the black water, vision offers almost nothing, so evolution favors other senses. An elongated body, nearly blind, drifts near the trench walls. Its lateral line, an array of pressure sensors running the length of its skin, detects the faintest ripple or the pulse of a startled fish. Every movement in the loch, even the hush of a distant trout, becomes a signal. In this world, slow is not weak, slow is survival. Metabolism drops to a crawl, conserving energy for a single, sudden lunge. The body plan is not fantasy. Eels and deep lake fish follow this design, adapted to cold, low light, and scarce food. Yet even with such adaptations, what we see or think we see remains unreliable. A psychologist who studies memory in ambiguous settings says, "Incomplete light plus strong expectation does not just change what we see, it can reorganize the memory trace itself." Years later, people may be utterly sincere, and yet remembering a story their brain has carefully edited. In Loch Ness, the predator's true shape is always filtered through human perception. Each sonar hit, each fleeting glimpse is a puzzle assembled from shadows. The only way forward is to keep surveying, to map the blind spots, and to accept that some answers may always live just out of reach. Today, Loch Ness remains only half mapped, its deepest trenches uncharted even by modern sonar. As technology advances, the unknown persists beneath the surface. In a world obsessed with explanation, some mysteries still hold their ground in shadow. The darkness below isn't empty, it's simply waiting. What do you think dwells there?